Something about you feels so different. Yeah, you mess me up inside. It's like your energy was kissing my soul back to life, was living. Now it feels like every part of me is died. Yeah, you're gone without a trace. You left me where no one can find me. There's no sign of life out here. I scream and it goes silent. I fight so hard, but I can't find my way out. Lost all dimension and time. All alone, you're losing my mind. And this goes down. And this goes down. And this goes every message that I send you, you just leave them all unread. Now every part of me is hurting. Cross my heart, I don't deserve this. Loved you just for you to haunt me in the end. Yeah, you're gone without a trace. You left me where no one can find me. There's no sign of life out here. I scream and it goes silent. I fight so hard, but I can't find my way out. Lost all dimension and time. I don't think I'm losing my mind. And this goes down. I'm losing my mind, and this goes down.
Welcome to Journey Through the Gate, the Paranormal Portal podcast, as we delve into the many questions and wonders brought on by the supernatural experience. What's on the other side of the gate? Let's find out together. Hello, everybody. What is happening? Maybe some of you don't want to answer that question because I know what's going on around you, and I am so sorry. So, yeah, it's been a rough couple of days for a lot of people out there. Before we get started on that, I want to welcome everybody in here. Holy, wonderful gatekeepers. So good to see you. So good to see that you're doing well. Lindsay out there in Canada, I love you, baby. Big hugs and kisses to you. I hope everybody around you is doing well. Mairead, wonderful to see you. I don't know what's going on in the wonderful forest of Robin Hood out there, and now the wonderful Mairead. But I hope it's very, very good where you are. Ted, same, darling. I hope your walled up priest isn't giving you any hassle. Midwest, good to see you, honey. Hey, you know what? Let's get together and tell some ghost stories on your show for a change. I'd love to come over there and meet some of your listeners and stuff. The spooky season's coming. Let's set something up. Hey, Vixen, how you doing? And that goes for everybody in here. I hope that you are surrounded, your family is well. I hope that your town is good. I hope that you have everything you need, and that this podcast finds you happy and in good health and good spirits. And if they aren't, I hope that we can lift them a little bit tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And Brown Dwarf, oh, good. Over there on Midwest, that's awesome. Get over there if you're not subbed to Midwest. Follow that in. And again, everybody that has a page, please go ahead, get with the mod if you're not a mod, and throw your link up there. So I appreciate that, because we want to support everybody right now. Creativity, all those things, because communication is key. And that being said, welcome gatekeepers. So just to be dead honest with you, past couple of days I've been, me, I'm over here with, for years, lard candles, buy a couple cans of beans, buy some rice. You got a generator? Can you run your household without one? Here, put solar lights outside. So if you don't have energy, you can bring them in. Been through a lot of, on both sides of disasters as a soldier, helping out. Of course, so many are helping right now. Oddly, I'm not seeing as many as I thought I would, but I'm hearing things are kicking in a little bit in the help. Of course, what I'm talking about here is Helene just went through and devastated pretty much a third of this, big chunk of this country. So here's the thing. What can we learn from it? What can we learn from it to prevent it from happening to us? Or if it did happen to us, how could we make it better? Hey, Steve, welcome in, honey. I hope the baby and your lovely wife are all doing well. So for years, friends will tell you that I've been, my main mission for doing this podcast, as well as trying to get the truth out there about the paranormal and other things that we talk about here, conspiracies, is to assist in some way to get people mindful about being safer and maybe getting through some things to come. And I know wherever you may be, this rings true in some ways. We've all seen things changing around us, or things getting a little bit more helter-skelter, or things that we're seeing and we're just going, WTF. I mean, I whisper that to myself low under my breath about every 5 minutes now. Just what the fuck? And I see it coming. And I've been seeing it coming. And I've been called crazy. I'm fine with that. You got to do better than that, Thanks, Mairead. It doesn't bother me. And all the things that, people chuck at me, like different facts and things like that. I'm like, okay, that's so small and minute. I can't focus on that. I'm looking at the big 40,000 foot view. We've all talked about the 40,000 foot view on this show. People, you have got to start looking around your towns. You have got to stop shaking your head and going, no, it's not what I think it is. It's something else. Or, it would never happen here. Or that whatever particular thing may not happen. Insert whatever it is in your blank that you want to. We're all adults, I'm trying to be funny, but I'm trying to be serious at the same time. This is very hard to get past, the powers that be. So what we're looking at are people that moved inland 20 miles from any flood zone ever heard of. Completely wiped out. Under 4.5, 5 feet of water. Some 20, 25 feet. Towns completely decimated. There are listeners in this chat that are in towns that fit that description right now. So we're going to be respectful, but we're not going to be down below that line. What do I mean below the line? Pamela Locke came in here and told us about a line. Everything below that line were heavy, cumbersome emotions, jealous, greed, fear, name them off. There's a bazillion of them. Above the line are all the good ones, the good vibes, joy, happiness, love, respect, glee, whatever. So we're all swimming in that big sea of emotions and feelings and vibrations. And light workers are constantly getting pulled down by the ankles and getting drugged closer down to the line because it's other people's feelings. And we have to then, and other people's emotions and other people's trauma. We pick up on that. Some empaths are multi-level, like I am. Aren't we lucky? Because we pick it up in the world is in chaos. We feel that constant chaos unless we're grounded and we put up blocks. Everybody can testify in here. I know you can because you're light workers. So you have to find your baseline. And that's very hard to do, especially when your life is coming at you. The tire got flat, lost my car keys, I'm late for work, there's a jerk at work, there's, road rage, there's whatever, you spilled coffee, your lipstick went up into your face at the red light, whatever it may be. All the little things that build up to where you just pop. Like that old movie, Michael Douglas, Falling Down. We've all had those days. Sometimes you can go either way. You can either sit down and kind of laugh at it and go, holy mackerel, what's going on? Or you can cry it out. And then hopefully you wind up laughing because that's what brings you out of it. Remember the little 3-year-old girl had an NDA. And every time they tickled her and she giggled, she went through another dimension, moved up, and the colors got brighter and the music got louder and everything felt lighter. So we have to learn from these things. All right. There's thousands of testimonies on NDEs that give you that idea. So if it works for us in death, it would work for us in life. Okay, you tracking me so far? So I'm not going to spend 2 hours explaining to you guys how I think that this was an unnatural event or an event that was just, once in a lifetime, once in a century, devastating, yada, yada. All these things are true. However, if you were watching what I think is one of the best weather information things out there on YouTube and multiple other channels, I believe Rumble and probably X and some other things too, is the Ryan Hall Y'all weather channel. On this weather channel, we're ordinary people with a skill. Somebody had an idea, he put it out there, other people came into that light, like turning on a light, a back porch light on the cabin in the middle of a forest, right? All of that like-minded is drawn to that energy, and other people showed up. So now what he has over just very few years is something where I'm watching 158,000 people watch him live in his chat. Never seen numbers like that. Just on the sheer volume alone, they're making money. And then they take that money and they show everybody how they are an actual 501c3 and where the money goes. And then they help people in disaster affected by weather. We've talked about him before on this show. And it's the Ryan Hall Y'all channel. I will share that. Mods, if you can find that, if you throw that up, and as soon as I'm done with this part, I'll pull it up too. So what do I mean by mentioning the Ryan Hall Y'all? Well, it's not only what I consider the best weather reporting ever done. I've watched them save lives live multiple times. I've watched them call tornadoes in Georgia during this last one that were not being called yet as a warning. And then I'd see them call it, and a few minutes later it would come in as a tornado warning or tornado, of course, watches, keep an eye out. Conditions are are okay for a tornado. Warning is, hey, one's coming. People get that mixed up because I guess both W's. So let's get that straight. I'm watching them call them out. And every other station that's mainstream is going, look here, look here, look here. And there's poof, 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 poof. People getting wiped out in towns that never had anything like this ever happen before, inland. So what do you have? You have a bunch of people that were safe by the statistics, safe by the suggestion, and a false sense of security, if you know what I mean. And I'm not here to scare anybody. I'm just saying this is what I'm observing. And my friend who moved 20, the second time he got flooded out, moved 20 miles inland of any flood zone, completely underwater. Completely underwater. Luckily, he had the sense to get everything together and not count on those statistics, and moved his animals and moved everything else, and he is safe, and so are the animals. That's one. On Ryan Hall, as he started getting people and connecting into storm chasers. And what you may think about storm chasers, like with the recent movie Twisters, which was excellent, by the way, I highly recommend it. And I don't like remakes. This really wasn't a remake. It was kind of a little different. So, and it was very well done, in my opinion. I enjoyed it. And I haven't said that about a movie that's come out, except like maybe Nefarious, excuse me. 2 different movies. So anyhow, I saw storm chasers getting together. Now imagine the capability of having real storm chasers, not your MSM nutcase, whatever, we got to sponsor this and we got to talk about the jacket we're wearing and all that kind of mess. And we're, standing in a puddle up to our knees when there is no real flood. I'm talking about actual real reporting here. Independent journalists, independent weather people just want to help. Period. They're out chasing. They've got live cameras on. They've got one going in this direction, one in this direction. They're saying what they're seeing. It's matching what they're seeing on multiple different radar devices, and they're able to warn people early, and people listen, and their lives are saved. It's an amazing thing. And as someone who has been a mom with kids and animals that have had to find shelter fast because a tornado was coming, or some other kind of thing like that. And we had 11 in one day. So I'm talking from experience here. I'm talking softball. And I know the difference between a baseball and a softball. I'm saying softball with confidence. I used to have pictures of it. My sons were in football helmets and shoulder pads behind a mattress, with me laying on top of it, hoping to God that the roof didn't come down on. Look, I think everybody's got a story. I hope, if you never have, I hope you never do. But if you have, you know what I'm talking about. So here's this ordinary man that had a talent and a desire and an interest, and he turned his light on, and all these people came to that had similar interests and had a similar subject, but it may be in a different way. That's where their talent was, so these are storm chasers, and they're doing their part, and it all came together in this beautiful orchestra of saving people and warning people. And then there's people in the chat, as well as other meteorologists, most of them very young. There's one on there, Andy, the meteorologist Andy, who looks like, God bless him, forgive me for saying this, Andy, but he looks like he's 12. I'm sure he's in his late 20s, but he's just one of those people that looks so young. He's like a Doogie Howser of the meteorologist world. What a brain on this kid. And he was the one pulling out the tornadoes that were hitting Georgia that nobody were talking about, and hitting South Carolina and North Carolina nobody was talking about. And people were saved because they listened. They were watching this. They were watching them. So ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I think they broadcast live for 18, 20 something hours. Never left. And constantly putting out information on how people could, what direction to go in, how to go. Oh my gosh, the bridge is out there. You can't go that direction. Go this way. Get out, get out, get out. And in real time. You understand? And in this chat are ordinary people that don't know where else to be. They don't know what else to do. They're not in that state. They're nowhere near it, but they're in there and they're sending in good energy. And they're saying, I might have I have a grandmother living by herself in such and such, you know. And people were saying, I'm down the road from there. What house is she in? This is what's happening live in the chat. People are getting together and they're helping. And they're taking their talents and adding them to this soup, this beautiful soup of humanity, helping humanity. Strangers, helping strangers. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So when you say, what can I do? You know, this is what I can do. I can sit here and I can, you know, I can sit tight. I have no money. I have no this. I have no means of helping anybody out. But because you prepared and you feel safe where you are, whatever the case may be, all you can do is be in a chat and encourage other people, or say, you know what, I have a friend that's near there. You know, maybe they can jump in a car real quick and go tell her and get her to the shelter or something along those lines. These things were happening live. And be as it may, the big people, the big, let's say the people that we may or may have we may or may not have voted in to help in these situations, nothing. Days in today, I'm hearing stuff showing up little by little. Something's up. People, if you can't see that, now I'm here and I'm telling you. Okay. So what is my point? Everybody can do something. I didn't even want to do the show tonight because I can't even imagine doing a show on, you know, UFOs or whatever. You know, I kind of like back and forth it all day long, where how could I not, if people need a break from the BS and they just want to chill and listen to ghost stories or talk about UFOs and get their mind off of things and maybe, you know, do all this other stuff. And then at the same time, I've got people that I know that are struggling. So how do I mix those two? So I thought I'd just kind of make one of those like 7-layer cakes. Hey, Froze, darling, how you doing, baby? So I thought I would just do one of those, and we're just gonna mix and match here, okay? But I would be remiss as a light worker if I didn't put this information out there. Okay. So if you're looking around and you don't see crazy stuff happening, I don't know what to tell you at this point. You know, hang on to somebody who's got, you know, their eyes open, and just maybe trust them and follow them through, just in case they might be right at this point, because what's it going to hurt, you know? What can you do? Well, I've been telling you for a long time, get prepared. I've been telling you for a long time, buy extra beans, buy extra cans, buy a rice cooker. I learned that one yet the other day. Small rice cookers, take 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of water. You don't have to store as much water. Water's hard to store. Those kind of things. But please, have enough put up that if this something happened and I want it in a box next to a go bag filled with everything you would need for yourself, each member of your family should have one of these, and each pet should have one. You should have, at this point, with all the crazy, a full tank of gas, every kind of medication you could need for the next 2 weeks, maybe a month, everything your pet would need. You're saying, I can't do that. Do what you can do. Do what you can do. Go get some protein bars, throw them in a bag. Go get a couple extra bottles of water, throw them in a bag. Underwear, socks, come on, people. Rope, duct tape, you know, couple 20s, some change, some ones, some change in case you need a roll of quarters, right? Some beef jerky in case you get stuck in traffic. And by all means, let's not. Oh yeah, it is, Ted. Um, by all means, no, don't be comforted by statistics or swayed by polls or what other people tell you. Don't worry, this place is never flooded. There are towns that are completely wiped out. I'm going to show you some, but I wanted to tell you ahead of time. I'm not showing it to make you sad. I'm not telling you these things to worry you. Light workers have the opposite effect. I know what beats dark. You have the answer. I know what beats dark. Being prepared for a disaster is not scared. It's being prepared. Having extra situations that we've gotten so used to always having that cell phone. Well, cell phone's out. There's no internet. There's no gas at the gas stations to run these generators if you haven't prepared ahead of time. Do you even have a generator? Do you need a generator? Can you be without it? Are you just, if you're living in a Vargo out in the middle, and you've got wood and you've got this, you got everything. Hey, fantastic. Now all you have to worry about is somebody else doesn't have it and wants yours. Learn from history. Prep, don't fret. Yep, there you go. I know you got your lard candles inside your 2-man tent with Lord Connor sitting in the middle of the living room, warm and toasty, because you listened to Cisco, right? He's got in there. He's got a 6-month supply of whiskey balls, a big wheel of cheese. Don't you, honey? Lardy candles. Those suckers burning, boy. They'll warm up a room. I'll tell you, when Sandy happened here, it was cold outside. It was cold outside. And I picked one room, hung up blankets. All the pets, everybody were in there. We're chilling. We're listening to battery crank radio. We're reading books. We're learning things. We're doing shadow puppets on the wall. Don't bother me at all kind of stuff. And staying abreast of the situation and what was going on in the community. How could I help? I heard people needed clothes. I got those. We packed up some bags, stuff that still had tags on it and everything else. We donated them. Didn't have money, but had other stuff I didn't need so much of. And I'll tell you something, during Sandy, the people that were here in the tents were complaining because they were all visitors from upstate New York, Staten Island, and they got stuck. They got us in these tents, they were just the most spoiled, and then there was the opposite too, people just grateful for a smile, let alone a bottle of water and, formula for the baby. Today, the Ryan Hall Y'all channel isn't the only one. There's more. Today I followed Vince. And you have to understand, the people that I'm going to show you, I've probably been following for years. Watched everything they did. Watched how they handled donations. Watched how they handled if they said something wrong. I got the information wrong. Their character. I'm not going to put too much of the sound on this, but I just want to show you, because of not knowing what to do, there were so many people in this chat all day trusting this young gentleman here, Vince, who we've all been following for a very long time, connected in through the Ryan channel. This is one of the storm chasers. And, again, they're not all like, if you feel it, chase it kind of thing. But yeah, but every single one of the ones that they have will stop and help somebody. This gentleman has been going around because ham radio operators got together, ordinary people, doing extraordinary things. Had a talent, put it together, and are getting these storm chasers to go do wellness checks, to get people down off the mountains, to, they're you know, they might be there with a chainsaw or whatever. Now, look, there's caravans of people coming with chainsaws, electrical people, ambulances, EMTs. It's an amazing amount of things, and I want you guys to focus on a lot of the good that's happening here. This ride, it seems funny to be watching this, but we're basically in the truck with him, headed to Ashland. Is it Ashland, Tennessee? I don't want to get it wrong. People completely devastated, stuck on top of a mountain, can't get down. There was a young lady who just had a newborn. Parents wanted to know about it. They're calling this guy's calling the ham radio people. They're calling out anybody in this area that can do a wellness check or get aid or get them down. These kind of things all day long. And we're all riding in this truck with him to get there. Thank you, North Carolina. Thank you so much, Jim. Asheville. Thank you. So they're headed there, and we know what we're headed for, and the devastation. And it got worse as it went along. And good night, Mairead. We love you, sweetheart. And at the end of this, they did get to the young couple with the newborn, and they were fine. They just had no cell service or anything in any way to get in word out to anybody. And some hearts were eased. And then the next, and the next, and the next. They're going there with, this gentleman has 2 Skylink for the internet connectors. We learned today that it's best if you get them pre-activated, because it takes a little time once you get there, and they wanted it to use it right away. So there's something we learned in this disaster. Gift cards, water, some food, and things like that, mostly money, as you see here, that people are donating, not only here, but in his Cash App and other places. And these are people that show you where the money went. You know, they're so open about it. And so does Ryan. I don't know how much money Ryan raised. I think we're somewhere up in the $80,000 range, because here he is stopping and talking to some people he met up with who had 5 Starlinks on their truck and money and everything else. This is them getting to one of the delivery stations. Now, the problem is getting it up there, right? Lots of roads closed and things like that. So, why am I showing you this? Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. We just did weeks of liberty, where I showed you, if history was being written, where would you be? Hey, Uncommon, Jim, everybody. Where would you be? What would history write about you? Froze is here. He's in the town of Irwin. Sweetie, I have something for you, my love. Give me a second. Because now I'm going to start sharing a couple of people here. Hang on one second. Give me just a minute, guys. Let me get it together. Is it that one? One second.
The school. Well, gosh, I'd have to tell you the route that we came, but I
The
don't
Terra,
have it off my
everybody.
head. So we've been here helping. This has become like the major refuge spot here in Unicoi County. I don't know if you saw earlier.
If you can get over there,
Froze.
Froze.
Real fast, I ran out of the high school to come over and try to film. You have helicopters. This is their landing pad right here. So earlier I was able to film and was able to capture what I can. I'm having to move very fast. But this is where the helicopters are landing. They are bringing folks in. They're having to helicopter out, rescue, and then they're bringing them here.
Just to let you know, this is a Patera. She'd be so mad I stopped her with her mouth hanging open like that. I'm sorry,
No,
girl.
I'm not.
I'm sorry, girl. She is my Tennessee spirit animal. She has a homestead. Not too many. I think she drove, I think she just said a couple hours. Um, she also has a channel. It is Appalachian Homestead, as you can see here with Patera and her lovely husband and her lovely sons. And this is also a woman, like I said, she's so much like me when I was in Alabama. It's Cherokee in her heritage, and she goes to all the powwows. Anyway, she is a wonderful prepper. She is out there teaching you how to make 3-ingredient biscuits in your skillet. She's out there teaching you how to grow garlic. She's teaching how to can and do multiple other things, and how to nurse a baby goat, and all kinds of things. She's got wonderful animals and stuff on her thing. This was just a lady in her 30s that had enough and decided she was going to, have a homestead. And again, ordinary people doing extraordinary things, because once she got her base together, she started helping other people. She's been going for days, taking money from her channel. Actually, first she started with money from her and her husband alone. Then the donations that started coming in from her channel, that again go directly to helping these people. She is here at this high school, and I have watched her for years. She's fabulous. If you're interested in any of this, or just helping a good soul and listening to a few things and learning how to prep and do some other stuff that might be, your cup of tea, I would suggest you watch her, because people that listen to her are going to survive the stuff that's coming. They're at least going to be better prepared for it. Okay, so now you got a good weather channel with weather chasers and people out there doing, and I tell you that I've cleared them. I don't, look, I'm not related to them. I've just watched them for years. There's been plenty of people I looked at through the years I don't even bother looking at anymore. This is one of the ones I stick with. And she's out there, her boys, her family, out there helping. Okay, a little bit more. So.
Not flooded. I'm not from this area, but we have driven 2.5 hours up here to help today. So I just want to let you know that I'm out of breath. I shouldn't be. This is a very emotional experience right now.
You bet, baby girl.
You're going to see the heartbeat of Tennessee.
There it is.
Right here in this high school, right here.
Nothing like the South.
People from all over, from Knoxville, Johnson City, all over, coming up here to help. The high school is packing full of donations. I will tell you right now that if you are interested in donating, I want to give you an update. They are asking for cleaning supplies, and they are asking for things, laundry detergent. They're getting a lot of food, water, beverage, snack. The cafeteria is open. You have folks from Loudon, Tennessee, restaurants, down to more closer to where I live. They are from Loudon. They came up and said, hey, they're bringing up, they came all the way up here, and they're making barbecue and just giving it out for free. I do know that they have had some success in locating people that have been missing. Some of that's good and some of that's heartbreaking. We'll leave that for your discretion to understand. There's my sweet husband right there. But
he's wonderful, by the way.
Being brought in from Knoxville, and they just loaded up pallets of water, loaded up pallets of bread. So inside of the gymnasium here, I did take a little footage of that. They're setting up cots. So this is where people are going to be staying. From what I understand, just by talking to a local resident, they have to put in place, I believe it is an 8 p.m. curfew. Obviously, there's been issues with looting. I have confidence that the folks here are going to take care of that pretty quick.
You better believe it, sweetheart.
But you are looking at literally you can share this all day long. This is a live stream. I tried to get over here to capture the helicopter, the Tennessee squad that's doing that. So I just want to show you what we're doing here at Appalachia's Homestead. It's been a very emotional day. Yesterday, we went down to, as you know or may not know, we were all the way down in Newport for our first drop off. And now we have come up to Irwin. There's little bugs everywhere. So I just want to show you how beautiful this is. Unicoi County is absolutely gorgeous. I want to also tell you right now that even with the hype and the heat that politics tries to dictate to you in terms of division, This is a very mixed population up here.
Above the line, people.
Everybody's helping and everybody's loving on each other.
That's how you beat them.
Everybody is feeding each other. So anytime that I want to show you always and over again, that when it comes down to the brass tacks, not only do Tennesseans come together, but this country comes together. Don't let any politician or any dirty, rotten scoundrel out there tell you different, because it's a bona fide lie.
Tell them, girl.
Take you right in here right now.
Tell them, girl. Preach it.
Show you all kinds of people of all kinds of background.
Strangers helping strangers.
Together, helping each other, feeding each other, whatever it takes. Okay? Don't you forget that.
Amen, girl.
Ever forget that. You are united, and don't let them tell you different. So, anyway, I tried to capture the helicopter. Maybe you saw the beginning of it, but they've come in, they've taken a break, they're eating, and then they've gone out again, trying to bring in everybody that they can rescue up here in Unicoi County.
Thank you, girl.
I'm gonna smell good. I don't
You
know.
you're beautiful, baby. You beautiful.
So, guys, I just wanted to show you that. I'm going back in. We're serving food. Like I said, they have clothing, shoes, food items, pet needs. We have crates, large crates, small crates for cats and dogs, etc. So a lot is going on. People are pulling in to drop off. People are pulling in also to get assistance. But this is a very tight-knit community, and I've been greeted by several people that kind of knew who I was. And I'm just telling you, it doesn't get better than this, y'all. This is the heart of Tennessee. This is it.
This is it.
If you can help with Western North Carolina or any distressed people in any locations, obviously from Helene, please do so. Please do so. But like I said, I can tell you here, I asked very specifically what to pass to you. In this location, they need things like household cleaning items, and they need laundry detergent. They're having lots of trouble with water. It is a bona fide fact. I don't know if you've seen the update. I haven't seen it for at least an hour. Looks like they are going to be shutting down the water in Greene County. If I'm incorrect on that, I saw it from Greene County, but they may have delayed that. I've spoken to some folks in Greene County right over, and they're preparing right now for the water to be shut off. They're having trouble with
sewer,
the waste management facilities. Things were just destroyed, folks, just destroyed. Mountain City, I haven't been up to Mountain City yet. I've been up there several times in my life and done genealogy there. It needs a lot of help as well. That is a very small community from Trade, Tennessee, down to Mountain City. That kind of backs up to the back of Boone. You all know what's going on with Boone. So I'm just letting you know. If I'm buffering, I apologize. I'm out in the mountains, y'all. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to break because I'm going to go in and serve food. We're making a ton of friends up here. This is what it's about, folks. Don't you ever forget it.
Amen, girl.
Anybody tell you that we are not united, because we are. Thank you for your support. I love you. We're going to work and volunteer some more, and then we're going to head back before dark. Love you. Love you.
Bye.
Be good.
Love you too, baby.
Keep posted, and I'll put together a video for you, and maybe we'll capture the helicopter one more time.
I have no doubt.
There's nothing more emotional than watching somebody be rescued.
Exactly.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. Love you. Bye, baby. Okay, so there you go. I wanted to introduce you to somebody that found a way to do something. And if you need light, jump in that chat over at Appalachia's Homestead. And every single one of the people are just like you guys here. You know, every once in a while you have a troll jump in there and go, you're a grifter and you're this. They don't know her for years. That said, you know, she'll show, look, you guys donated $10,000. Here it is. Here's all the receipts. She'll take a picture of it, and this is where it went. Okay. Ryan does the same thing. Ryan Hall and the Storm Chasers that he has with him now. Vince all does the same. You know, these are people trying to get Starlinks to people. Again, I highly recommend, if you're going to do that, you get them pre-activated. It seems to be an issue. We're trying to get a hold of Elon Musk. We're sending him, I've sent all my stuff out to X and said, people, we've got to hit Elon. If he could just donate, first month free to these people or something along those lines, so they can get in there and contact their people and get information out, find out what they need, because there are people trapped in these mountains, folks. These bridges are out. If you depend on the government, they're going to tell you, 2 years to 3 years to get bridges built. You go get you some CVs. and they'll have something up in hours because that's what they do. And you remember how many bridges they built to cross huge rivers in the Civil War, in the Revolutionary War. You do not let them tell you that it's going to take 3 years to do this or people, boots on the ground, just like Patera, are going to get it done because that's what always happens. Thank you, Midwest, for doing that. You're going to love her. She does not take any crap. You're going to say she's so much like Cisco, I just can't believe it. She's got a little bit more sweet on her, though. You know, I'm one of those calloused warriors that tries so hard to keep my light up front because, boy, you don't want to see what's behind it. I think people that have messed with me here in past years have found that out. But and I don't play. I don't get into the mess. You know what I mean? And sometimes my heart breaks and I just want my mummy. I know you want my mummy too, don't you? I got a squishy mummy today. He's my stress mummy. You know, so when I hear these things, I just, you know, hey, ya hanging. How you doing? Erwin, yeah. So I wanted to put that up there, Froze, if that helps you at all, darling. You know, you take you a little hoe bath. You know, listen, I've been at powwows, brought me a gallon of water. And I used to keep all my herbs so I can make my herbal teas and stuff, you know, and all my baggies. And I had them in a big Tupperware cake thing. I know it sounds funny, but the tub was also, I'd take everything out. And the tub was what I'd wash in. And I could get that powwow dust off of me head to toe in a, you know, use half a gallon of water and just come out squeaky clean, you know, no problem. And I heard a joke the other day. It was so silly, but it made me laugh. How do you make holy water? Boil the hell out of it. Get your hoe bath. Get down there to that high school and get your stuff. Get stuff for the pets. Go around town if you can get out. And if not, you said your daughters are helping. Send them down there. Tell them go get pet food for people and go distribute it in the town. And maybe get them help down there. I'm telling you, that's it's amazing. And for every town now, and for every prepper that I watch, or channels that I'm involved with, I've watched them and the chats helping people, and it is going directly, immediate assistance. Formula being put in the hand of the mom. No red tape, no bureaucracy, no donate to the Red Cross, and maybe the Red Cross will take 8 cents out of that dollar and put it towards, some rice, and then they make them fill out a big old thing first and all that. It's people helping people. These are people above the line. They're way past any of that red tape bullshit. This is direct help, hand to hand, heart to heart. Stranger helping strangers help strangers. That's how we're going to get through this. Learn from history what worked then. This is the only thing that ever worked. People coming together. And here's the thing. If you left or you're here for ghost stories, because I've got some. But here's how I'm going to be sneaky about this. For anybody that's mad because I'm talking about this, and maybe we're not talking about Bigfoot enough or something like that tonight. Here's the lesson. If you learn to be a good human being, if and when you become a ghost, you be a decent ghost and not be a asshole. If you work on your soul now and you learn how to help people and stay above the line, as much as they try to drag you down, you dip your toe in there and you go, whoa, you pull it back out. You try to stay above the line, because it's a fight every day to stay in a higher vibration. Right? Watching stuff like that will help, because you're actually seeing it help immediately. It's very cool. She's been doing this for days. So if you're better off and you can do something, what's your talent? You might just be a liaison from one person to the next to get them to a phone number to actually get some help. Thank you so much, Henry. That's Appalachia Homestead. We appreciate that so much. Okay. Or, like I said, get in there to Ryan's channel, because what Ryan Hall, y'all, on YouTube, what they're doing is they're actually hiring helicopters. He's in, I want to say, Kentucky. He's got storm chasers all over the place, and the money goes into them. They turn it into cards, or, like I said, Starlinks, or whatever the people need, and it goes that way. And it goes directly to the people. Ryan's also said, if I have this wrong, Ryan, please forgive me, but I believe he said that he will match donations up into and including $10,000. And they had already raised 60 in the live stream that they did during the hurricane. So they're taking that, trying to add another 20 to it. They're getting helicopters to drop supplies and rescue people. There were things like people in the hospital on the roof. Lynn, North Carolina, no electricity. She had to get word to me through a neighbor that she couldn't be here tonight because we were going to talk about, ghosts and all that kind of stuff. I think this is one. Let me see if I can get this going. I want to tell you guys, if you haven't heard it enough, do not drive into water. I don't know how to make that any clearer. Even if it looks like, let's hold it. Even if it looks like you can drive through it, I can tell you, living in Alabama, you don't go over bridges that have water over them. They can collapse. This causes sinkholes, so the cars are falling right into the puddles. People like this young man and from the fire department have to get in there to rescue you. In cases in Florida, I watched a woman scream for almost 2 hours till they could get to her. It was a live camera stream, and we couldn't take our eyes off because we wanted to see her get out of that car, and she eventually did. But they were being told, don't drive through it, don't do it, do back up, go around, do whatever. And honey, there were alligators in the water all around her. You don't want to touch this water, like Patera said. There's sewage in it. There's all kind of things in it. There's things that are going to cut you, and then you're going to get just be smart. Okay. So that's just one. And this is how fast the water rose up on them. They did get rescued out of this car. But don't take your kids into the water. Don't go driving through. There are ways to prevent getting into these situations so you don't have to risk driving in things like this. Hey, John, welcome in. So that's another thing I wanted to tell you. Okay. Here is, I think I've got this one. Oh, I don't know what the heck that is. All right, let me see. Here is the next one. Let me get this up here. One more. Here's another one that's going to put you up above the line real quick. This is a friend. This is Pinball. Pull him up.
Pinball preparedness. Okay.
This is Pinball. Pinball is in Tennessee. I don't think he'd mind me telling you that because he mentions it himself. He is doing the same thing Patera's doing. He is outside of he's not far from Newport, I believe. So the thing is, he's doing the same thing. He's an old sergeant. He's a big man. Been watching him for years. Wonderful prepper, wonderful gardener, lots of, on how to grow things in a bucket if you need to, how to, prepare your land, all these, things, generators and different things. Very helpful stuff. Him and his wife. His wife, I believe, escaped in the Soviet Union stuff with her parents or something. She has memories of getting through very bad times. So they're a great team. But anyhow, his channel is Pinball Preparedness. Now, why am I telling you about him? Because if you want some, all the obvious things I've already mentioned, it's a great thing. But more so, as mad as this dude has been for the past couple of days, and I don't blame him, Here's what he ran into. And again, this is a stay above the line story here. How not to be a bad ghost, be a good human being. His chat's similar, a little bit more military minded, a little bit more gruff around the edges because, you know, that's just how we talk and, you know, it's who we are. And he's in there and he's got people donating like crazy. This man buys a lot of stuff for the food bank every Thanksgiving and Christmas, toys for the kids, that kind of stuff. But again, he's like me, doesn't go through the bureaucracy of it. Money in hand, he goes shopping himself. This guy took, I think, $1,000 of his own money, went to the Walmart, bought every 5-gallon bucket they had, every soap went in there, Pine Sol went in there, he bought a bunch of toothpaste, did all these things. Why he didn't go to the dollar store for that, I don't know, but I'll talk to him later. Goes to Walmart and he's getting all these looks and everything, and when people found out what he was doing, everybody was on board. Oh, that's so nice, you know, that kind of thing. And he took it to Newport, and then he came back. And his chat starts donating money, and they're sending it via Cash App. Well, here's a little something we found out. He had so many donations. Cash App told him that's why the title is, "Why do companies have to make it so hard helping others so difficult?" He spent, I think he was up like more than 24 hours, whatever. He's on the phone with customer service and everything else for the Cash App, because Cash App he said, why am I seeing all these things go through? And it says failed. So, well, you're only allowed 25 transactions a day. We do this for your own good. So he does the customer service shuffle, and he's going, I want you to talk supervisor. And, you know, day later he gets an, I'm sorry, you know, blah, blah, blah kind of thing. He still can't get the money. He's trying to help people who need help, and they're getting in his way. So this is what happens. I hope I got the right vid here. This is what happens. Let's see where he's at. Hang on.
I can't cash a check if it's made out to Pinball Preparedness. How to do this better, please let me know. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I've looked up to see what other services there are. And again, this isn't a business, okay? I don't have an EIN number for Pinball Preparedness, okay? I can't cash a check if it's made out to Pinball Preparedness. I've mentioned that many times. If you want to send me a check, you leave the payee blank or put it in as cash. That's the best we can do.
Okay. So I just wanted to show you a little bit about how frustrated he is at this point, okay? Because again, people are sending money. He's going to buy stuff. He's taking it straight to the people, straight to the town, straight as far as he can get. Big old pickup truck does not give. There's no more F's to give with this man, okay? He's been military. He knows what's going on, just like you and I do. And he's trying to get people prepared, okay? So he's in the position to be able to do it with his great channel and the people helping him. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So what happens after this? This was dropped, I think yesterday, even maybe this morning. I can't remember which one. So he comes back with the next one, which is this.
Hey, and get this over here. After making the morning video today and telling y'all the problems that we're having, and a lot of you guys have sent ideas and things like that. I haven't even got through all the emails yet. Apparently, me putting up the 3 new Cash App links is working because you guys are getting contributions through, which is great.
Quickest way to relieve neuropathy. These are 3 symptoms that are signaling you could be very close to losing your foot.
Yeah.
But if I had 200 to 300 contributions yesterday and that all failed, and we can only get 100 a day now, we don't have 2 or 3 days to wait for all this stuff to come through. So we had an angel come out of the sky, one of you guys. And this is
beautiful,
Michelle.
man. This is
knows
beautiful.
Exactly who she is, because she and her husband just got to meet me an hour or so ago.
Look how happy he is.
Michelle got a hold of me this morning, sent me an email, and they live down by Chattanooga. Okay, to give you this as an idea. So they're on the southern end of Tennessee. I'm on the northern end of Tennessee. So, I mean, our 2 houses are probably 3.5 hours apart, right? Okay. And it's a rainy, nasty, miserable day out. Michelle got a hold of me and said she has a brilliant idea, that she would set up a Give, Send, Go account in her name, because none of you guys know her or anything like that. So that was fine. It's not like me. And we could make the contributions there. Okay. Now I know what a bunch of you guys are thinking. It's like, how do you know she's legit, that she's just not going to keep the money, whatever? Mm-hmm. She thought of that too. Her solution was they fronted us 10 grand.
Fix it.
I went down to Knoxville. We talked on the phone this morning. I met them, talked for about a half an hour, and they handed me $10,000 in cash and said, okay, here's what we'll do. Put the Give, Send, Go. It'll all come to her to reimburse her for some of this. Okay. You know, obviously they're contributing as well. So between the three of us, because Mrs. P was still at home, she's fronting 10 grand and I'm fronting 10 grand, and we're going to shoot for $20,000 for this. I think we'll get there. Okay.
They will.
The reason why she did this, and she's got a good story, like I said, she lives down in Chattanooga, and they said that they weren't overly affected, pretty much like I was. Really wet, but nothing, they still got power, they still got internet, whole 9 yards. Their son lives over in Greene County. Okay, that's more eastern Tennessee. It's about an hour east of Newport, which is where we're going. Greene County is completely cut off from civilization. All the bridges have washed out. The roads are gone. And literally where they are, where her son is an island. It's completely surrounded. Nobody can get in. Nobody can get out.
So many places
now, I
like
had
that.
talked to her about getting a hold of the Cajun Navy, see if they can get in. There were boats to get people out.
Cajun Navy's
They're
great.
gone. Her son's house flooded. Okay. The fire department has about 2 days worth of food and water there. The county has said it will take nearly a year to build the bridges back. How these people are going to get out, I have no idea. I haven't even had a second to see how we can do anything for them yet, but we're going to.
Ryan's selling
I've got
helicopters.
More phone calls. That'll probably be tomorrow morning, trying to deal with what we can do there. So this is a massive mess. In talking to her and looking at all the news that I can find, there's exactly zero federal response to this area. The government's like, hurricanes don't hit Tennessee. We don't need to do anything.
Zero.
The state hasn't done squat. Okay. Bill Lee, our rhino governor, hopefully will be gone here soon. Even the county hasn't done anything. The people are stuck in Greene County. Now, emergency management, who I talked to yesterday around Newport, they're in there. This is such a fluid, bad choice of words there with water, but a fluid situation. We're kind of going as we go, trying to do what we can as fast as we can. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is, if you tried Cash App and it didn't work, if you haven't already made a contribution that you wanted to make, and I'm not forcing anybody to do it, I understand everybody's got different resources. Prayers are greatly appreciated. Please make all the further contributions to Michelle and the Give, Send, Go account. Now, as she also said to me today,
listen to this part.
We're not trying to make money out of this. Nobody's trying to make money out of it.
They found a way.
If she collects more than $10,000 minus their personal contribution, she will send me a check. And if that comes in 2 weeks from now or whatever, when this is all over, her answer was, put it all toward the Christmas food drive.
There it is.
Okay. So this is it. This is that. I mean, I was practically in tears when she called me this morning and told me what she wanted to do. And yeah, she held up her end of the bargain. Absolutely. What she told me she was going to do, she did. Okay. Unlike a politician who will lie to you and then not do anything.
Amen, brother. Okay. So I wanted you to see that because, again, if you are sitting home and you are thinking nobody is doing anything, if you are in a tight spot and you're thinking that nobody cares, wrong. I could show you 50 channels that are just like that. They found a way. Michelle found a way. Screw the bureaucracy, screw Cash App and all these other places, and everything else that's going on. We're going to figure out a way around this. That's what I want you to do. And I want you to look around your house and I want you to think to yourself, if I had to leave here in 10 minutes and take my pets, please take your pets. There is no option of leaving dogs and cats behind. They'll be fine. These people have no homes to go back to. Do you understand me? They are counting on you to care for them. They are part of your family. They must go with. If you're on a farm and you cannot do that, then you get them in a place where you would imagine it's going to be pretty darn bad. Don't have that false sense of security where, this place has been standing forever and blah, 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 blah. No. No, 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 no. Okay? Because there are things going on right now that if you haven't seen them, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe complete towns wiped out. I'm trying to find. Oh, that's adorable. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. This bunny's chasing bunnies. How precious. Let me find it. I'm sorry, guys. I had it prepped, but then I lost some stuff. Okay, wait a minute here. Let me see if I go back this way. Bear with me. Like I said, I'm doing this off the cuff, and I just want to put hope and out there because this is it's just insanity. Here we go. People that have never been flooded in the history of a town. They are completely gone. Yeah. Can you imagine leaving your dogs and your cats behind in this? This isn't the beginning. This isn't the final result. Some of these places were under 20-something feet of water. Most of them got 4.5, 5 feet, but that's in your bottom floor. I saw pictures of a guy in his canoe and his house is being flooded and he's sitting in the middle of his living room, and I'm thinking, listen, he's not electric and his feet are inside this plastic canoe, and I'm thinking, you put your foot in that water, buddy, you're gone. And people don't realize that they start walking through this stuff, and a couple of days later, maybe a week later, 2 weeks later, they got all kind of stuff and parasites and microorganism, bacteria, and nasty stuff. You're going to the doctor, they can't figure it out. You're spending multiple, money on your insurance claims and everything else, and medicines and pharmaceuticals is going to cause 10 other freaking problems. Just understand it and prevent it before it happens. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? Don't think it can't happen to your town. That's just one thing. And I could show you 1,000 more. Okay. That's just one. There are pictures of, this is what the town looked like. What just went off? This is what the town looked like before. And this is what it looks like now. And it's completely leveled. There's 10, 15 feet of mud, and houses sticking out. There's houses rolling down the street. Listen, again, I went through Sandy. Sorry, my light went out over here. I went through Sandy, and I think within 24 hours, there was a line a mile long to get gas. Why don't you have gas? Have a full tank of gas. Okay. You're going to need, for hygiene, everything else, washing dishes. Again, some people are smart enough to have gray water, and they have water put up to where they don't really have to worry about it being pure. They plan on boiling in it, using it for washing dishes and hygienes and things like that. And then they have the drinking water and cooking water separate. I suggest you do that because it's easy to keep putting it up. Like every time you get an empty 2-liter bottle or, whatever, wash that out, put water in it, mark the top of the cap, W for like wash water, things like that. Your drinking water, you want to take better care of it. I want you to know that people are out there helping. I want you to know that help is on the way. I also have this for anybody who is missing anyone that needs help. I am hearing many people say, oh, this is another, I don't know if I can share that. Let me see. Jeez, I'm sorry, guys. I have to get on my production person because I know the production here is just lousy. I'll get out. Here's some more pictures. They're all over the place. I mean, come on. Please don't think that this can't happen in your town. Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. Look at this. Look at this. And here's another thing we've learned. If you're lucky, or crazy enough to have an electric vehicle, golf cart, anything with lithium battery in it, you leave it in your garage and you left for a shelter, the batteries, when they hit anything salt water, will burst into flame. So now their houses are on fire as well. Okay. Don't leave those things behind. Take the battery out, set it outside, do whatever you got to do. But understand this is something people are learning and wish they had known beforehand. And keep in mind, in Florida, these people are in their cars, alligators floating all around them. Your kids, your pets, yourself, your spouse, you're depending on you making smart decisions. Look at this. And, again, you don't have to make quick decisions. I hope you saw all that. That's what it looked like there, Froze. Yeah, I know. Yep. And their pumps don't work without electricity anyway. These are all things people don't need to run into the problem to learn, because if you already have the problem, it's just going to make it worse. So pass along the information. You can get into a chat. And if you have information like this, pass it along. Help other people in the chat. Hey, I'm looking for so-and-so. I don't know what to do. And people are in the chat going, call the sheriff department. Well, let me tell you something. There's a sheriff that I know of out there in some of the places we're talking about here. Up 72 hours, can't find, had to leave bodies behind, trying to rescue people out of bad situations, blah, blah, blah. Let me see if I can. Sheriff departments are completely overwhelmed right now, and they can't get you that information in most cases. Hang on one second. This was important. I need to get this through to you guys. I know this might sound silly, but I'm going to throw up a ghost story here in just a little bit so I can be legit. I said, we did talk about ghosts. I'm trying to teach people how to be better, good human beings, and to stay above the line, because everybody else is throwing out all this other. Of course it's devastating. Of course it's horrible. There ain't no doubt about it. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying there's good in there too. We do this every time there's a bad thing like this. And it's always true that what did Mr. Rogers say? Every time a catastrophe happens, look for the helpers. Look for the helpers. Okay, I think I can pull this up now. Let me get this. Did it come through? Why isn't it coming through? Come through, dang it. Okay, pull it up again. This is importante. Why is it not coming up? Refresh. Son of a bitch. Get thee behind me, Satan. I will get this information out. I will get this information out. Why aren't you coming up? It says delivered. Hold on. What in the heck? All right. I'll send it over here. I'm going to send it to, disregard this, Ted. I'm going to send it to you. Cat. Wait a minute. I know what I'm doing wrong. I know what I'm doing. It's me. Wouldn't you know it? Tech is not my thing, guys, but not giving up is definitely not my thing for sure. We might take the long way around, but by God, we're going to get there. All right. So here we go. Who is this and why are you sending me? Okay. There we go. All right. So this right here is what you call. Here's a number. If you cannot see that, don't pay attention to the Penguins 3. That's a mod in Vince's the Storm Chasers chat. So people trying to connect with family members can call North Carolina 211 or 1-888-892-1162. If calling from out of state, people can also get those numbers to report missing loved ones. Now, that does say North Carolina, but here's the deal. If you call it, they can direct you to the numbers that you need for your state. They also are connecting people with ham radio repeaters. So there is a multitude, there's a chain of information and helpers out there getting all of this information from ham radio, CBs, and the like satellite phones, and they're getting out the information on wellness checks and help coming and people that are trapped and need to get out. And again, I mentioned the Cajun Navy. Fantastic. They'll get in there and get those people out too. Like I said, Ryan he's right now looking for people with helicopters to either volunteer or pay their gas, pay whatever they need to get helicopters up there too. And you heard Pinball saying that was from this afternoon. So he's out there looking. He's ex-Army just like me. And he's out there trying to look for the military aid that's helping in certain places too. They go where they're told to go. Not everybody, is getting help because there's so many places was unexpected. Now, to Lynn Monet, Michael Acciana, our people in North Carolina and the Carolinas, I've heard from Lynn. I haven't heard from Michael. There's so many other people out there I haven't heard from, all our friends and paranormal and stuff. They're checking in as much as they can. They've got stuff on their hands too. So we send our prayers and love to all of these people. But again, I want this to inspire you and not make you feel helpless and like, why does this keep happening? Why is it? Okay. That's the second part of the conversation. Why does this keep happening? They're trying to put us on our knees, trying to make us weak. But just like everything I showed you in Liberty, all those nights that we sat here and talked about extraordinary people doing wonderful things, not just with their words, with their talents, what they were good at. They came together and they did this. This is what I want you to do. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're rural. I don't care if you're living in the middle of a 200-acre farm and you've got nothing around you. I need you to look around at your preps. I need you to make sure that you have at least a month's worth of water and food, minimum. If you are paycheck to paycheck, I get it, honey. I've had a real bad couple of months here. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go on with this show past Halloween. Everything's gone up and it's got crazy and I got priorities. And you guys mean an awful lot to me. And I think we're doing something here. And if that happens, I'll try to get back on as soon as I can. But we got stuff we're dealing with here where we are in our town too. So, that being said, I'm very frugal when it comes to where it needs to go. I mean, I'll skip meals to pay for a StreamYard. I'll do it because I think it's important. And it's not just the important of, God, I got to get the truth out about ghosts, or I got to get that EVP out because this proves this or that, or Bigfoot or what. It's not, that's part of it because I want to leave the truth behind in the paranormal and what I've learned in 50 years. It's very important to me. Very important to me to click in with you guys. And get that energy going back and forth. That's why you always see me like I have a hard time looking here, because to me, the energy that I'm feeling isn't coming from that camera or the screen where I am. If I have a guest here, I can look at them because the energy's coming from there. When we're here alone, the energy's all coming from this chat, and I'm just naturally drawn toward that good energy and that light. Does that make sense? So my main purpose here is to tell you, and I need you to listen very carefully. I need you to do these things. I don't care if you are paycheck to paycheck. Go pick up an extra can of chili, an extra can of corned beef hash, some kind of protein, some kind of soup. Go get you some rice. Go get you some beans, dried or otherwise, and store them up. Watch these guys. They have a multitude of back channel information in there. I mean, years and years and years of, whatever you need help with, whether it's testing generators or testing this or what kind of this do you need for that, or, how to grow plants inside, whatever it may be, it's in there. There's several other ones too that I would suggest. Southern Prepper 1 is one, but we haven't heard from him. I would imagine he's fine unless he got completely devastated where he was, but he's out helping people. He'll be back on. I'm almost sure of it. But after some of the things I've seen, I can't be too sure. Because if there's anybody that's going to be prepared, it's some of the people that I've watched for a very long time. But look at what they're dealing with, right? So I need you to do those things. I need you to do something else. I need you to keep your eyes open in your town. Do not ignore odd vehicles going through your town. Do not ignore. I want you to stop, if you can, getting home deliveries. I can't get too deep into this, but those companies where you order a burger and they go pick up the burger and then they bring it in, or now there's a lot of pizza places that don't even hire a delivery person. They just use those people to come in and deliver, and you're not sure who's bringing what. Okay. Your people, FedEx, and you don't have to sign for nothing. Put the package down and leave. Wait till they drive away. Go out and get your package. Lock your door when you walk in. Immediately. Stop having a false sense of security. Open your eyes and pay attention at night. If you have an alarm, set it, but don't just count on that. Do some old-fashioned things. Mama used to put bottles on the windowsill. I thought it was pretty. She said it was security because they'd all fall if somebody opened it. We're starting to get to the point where if you're alone and you have a friend who lives alone, why don't you do the back and forth? Maybe sleep over, there, or sleep over there, or have some kind of a code that, and stuff over that person's house where you could say, you know what, we're going to buddy up tonight. We're going to buddy up for a couple of days if we need to. I'm going to leave this here for you. Hey, D-Rock, I'm going to leave this here if I need it, and I can get over here real quick, or she can come pick her up because she might not drive, or he might not drive. I want you to start thinking about, if you're alone, is there anybody else that you could, hang out with for a couple of nights, or they could hang out with you? Would you trust them? You need to start thinking about those things, because I have a lot of elderly people that are alone out there, a lot in my neighborhood, and I'm trying very hard to get with some retired police, retired military, to try to get, hey, a heads up is a good thing. Heads up is a good thing. Being prepared is a good thing. Having situational awareness and everything else. Folks, I'm telling you, if you're thinking I'm kidding, talk to me in 2 weeks. Come back here and tell me how crazy I am. I want you to reconsider if you're thinking about going to any large outdoor events, whether it be a high school football game, college football game, regular football game, a fair, anything that's going to have large crowds. Immediately. Work on that situational awareness. When you're sitting in your car, ladies, do you have a CC? You got a concealed carry? Can you do it in your state? Do you know the laws? Don't assume. If you can't have one, this is what I want you to get. I want you to get a fire extinguisher. I want you to put it in your car. And I don't want you to put it in the back seat. I want it right there. I want you to practice pulling that pin and focusing that thing. Because a blast of that will stop somebody coming in your car or trying to do something. Okay? Something you can grab quick. Why is it in there, ma'am? Well, officer, I'm afraid of fires. You seen how many cars that are just blowing up out of nowhere? These lithium batteries. Ma'am, you're not driving an electric car. Oh, okay. Well, I just fires every. You never know. I might find a fire. Somebody else might need some. It's not considered a weapon. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everything's a weapon. Spray it right in there, and then pop 1 or 2 times. Really good. They'll change your mind and drive off. Don't stop. Get a bigger one. They're not that expensive. If you can afford it, please do. Which is why I said buddy up. Because maybe your friend can't afford one, but maybe together you could. And you can put it by the front door, and it can be in the car that you guys drive in for, a week. Consider it a vacation. Keep a big one by the door if you don't have something else. Have a plan. Have a plan. Now I'm going to tell you, I think the stuff that's coming, and I'm not scaring you. Be prepared, not scared. Is going to be large places with large gatherings of people. This, if not 100% natural, you be the judge. Could have very well been, hey, Woo, to put a lot of people south of I-40 on their knees. Think about that. Looks a little sus to me. What's coming right behind it? 3 more. Now, you go watch Ryan and the meteorologist and PhD Andy and all those people know more about weather than I do. But when I was watching him, I had 4 meteorologists looking at that going, this isn't right. That's not. What was that? Go watch it. Ryan Hall, y'all, on YouTube. Come to your own conclusions on that. But I'm telling you, listen to me. Get extra water. Fill the containers. Use it for flushing the toilet. Do whatever. Lots of people out there that have got great ideas about all that. Get you extra candles, some solar lights from the dollar store. Go to the dollar store. If that's all you can afford, grab a couple of things. Count out the days. I've literally taken it and said, right now, I got a can of chili with meat and a bowl of rice and some kind of a canned fruit for every person in the house for this amount of time. And this water, pow, pow, pow. Now what's next? Who needs the medicine, your glasses? You got a bad tooth you need to get fixed real quick. You better get some clove oil because I think you run out of time to go to the dentist at this point. Don't be scared. Be prepared. See something, say something. If you have someone on your block that thinks like you, go knock on the door and say, hey, just letting you know. You don't tell them what you have. Don't tell them what say, if anything happens or anything goes down, I think we should exchange phone numbers. If you see something, call me, let me know. I'll keep my eye out. I'll let you know. That's like the easiest way over the fence to a neighbor. I hope you have more than that. But if that's all you have, you work with what you have. Don't go to anything with large groups. Now, if you're one of those people that say, I will not live in fear, I will do what I want, I totally respect it. Totally respect it. Just don't be stupid. Okay. A lot of these people waited too long to leave. We always have the ones that say, we're not going anywhere. We're staying here. I can't leave. I can't afford it. I can't do this. Okay, if you're in that situation, you have got to buck up. But when that stuff came, nobody expected that. That flash flooding and everything else. Well, now it's time to take it serious. There's 3 more coming, and the infrastructure has been shook hard. So prepare up. And again, these are the times where people come together and trust each other a little bit more. If you have that friend, if you have that family member, I'll tell you right now, I couldn't have any member of my family in this house. I wouldn't be able to stay in the same room with them. I've warned them for years. And now I'm sitting back and going, I don't want to say I told you so. I love them too much. But by God, I screamed and hollered till I was absolutely hoarse. And now I have to sit back and let them do whatever the rest they're going to do. But I'm telling you because I care. I'm telling you because I care. People a lot wiser and smarter than me are telling me the same things. Get your houses in order. I love you. But also, keep above the line. That is a very hard balance for light workers, especially now. Everybody feels the drain. Everybody feels the pull. Everybody feels the emotion in this world pulling right now. We got to stick together, folks. And if that means that the lady down the street, that she lives by herself or whatever, go check on her. Tell her if things get bad, she's welcome to ride it out on your couch or in your spare room. She could bring her stuff, and you know what? I don't care if she has a little dog. You can stay in the room with her. This is a time we come together, folks. People shouldn't be alone right now. And you're not. You're not. And you can see that. People are out there helping. And they'll help again. And we will rebuild. But it's a long way from being over. And I don't want you to be scared for that. I want you to be prepared. Have some cash on you. Whiskey, cigarettes, canned meat, baby formula. Vodka's a good one because vodka can be used for so many different things. You know, for medicinal purposes, for making tinctures and things like that. They'll always be good traders. You know, I don't care if you smoke or not. If your neighbor smokes and he's got 5 pounds of hamburger and you don't have any, say, yeah, you know, trade. People will pull through this. They're going to reach down and they're going to find themselves. They always do. They're going to pull out that shadow person and rise to the occasion. And then there's going to be your draggers. You know? And you got to decide whether or not you got the strength to drag them along. Because I'll tell you, that's the last part of this, and then I'm going to show you a ghost story. I have to apologize because we're not strong 100% of the time, 7 days a week. We all dip, and then we got to come back up again. We all dip. We all get pulled down. We all get caught up. We all feel the road rage. We all feel the depression. We all feel this and the emotion and the, you know, what's going on, and we can't beat this. It's too big. Oh, don't you dare. We're too big for them to win. Light beats dark every time. But unbeknownst to a lot of people, they woke up butt naked in the middle of a spiritual warfare. And let me tell you, both sides mean business. And it's not going to stop until it is. Unfortunately, a lot of innocent people are going to get caught in the middle. Don't be one of them. Be prepared. You know, high protein things. You know, your little butter cookies and your tea, whatever you need. There's a lot of good stuff out there. But I want a bag packed that has everything you need in it, that if you had to get in your car, get your paperwork, put it in a Ziploc bag, fireproof thing, shove it in a bug out bag, and just have all your stuff, because you don't, when you leave that house and go wherever it is you're going, I want you to look back and go, I might not come back. Do I have everything I need to start doing whatever I need to do? You don't leave a dog behind knowing that you're going to come. You don't stay on a mountain with a special needs child on a ventilator, not have a generator, and have one way down off that mountain, and the bridge out over that is over a river, and that sucker might flood. Get down the mountain, set up something with somebody else where that child is safe. I don't care how inconvenient it is, because I'd rather have you inconvenienced than stuck on the top of a mountain with a child who's only got so much oxygen left and so much power left. What are you thinking? But we've never had that happen here before. Statistics. The things that are going to happen probably never have happened before. You're going to see things you never thought you'd see. So take care of your pets. Take care of your infirmed people. They're counting on you. And you're counting on you. Get your damn lard candles ready. Get your generators. Get your tanks full of gas. Get non-perishable items. Things that don't go bad. Rice, dried beans, especially if they're in Mylar bags. But even as they are, I want you to freeze your rice if you have a freezer. Because that way it stays longer and for a lot of other reasons. Okay? Those are good. Canned chili with meat. What do you eat? Buy what you eat. Corned beef. Listen, guys, I've been saying this since Spam was $1.79 a can. What is it, $7 now? Get your daggum gas. Don't go to Starbucks a couple of times. Don't get your nails did. Go buy some food. I'm watching people complaining they don't have any money. They just got back from getting their nails and hair done. These are people I don't have time for anymore, people. I don't say a word to them. I was like, you whistling past the graveyard, baby. What's that even mean? Oh, you're going to find out the hard way. Because I'm done having my information devalued by anybody. I stopped warning people a long time ago. I'm just here talking to you because I figure you listen. So what can you do? Go tell 10 people what I just told you. Every single one of you. Go tell 10 people. I don't care if they believe you or not. You did it. You told them. You gave them the information. Stay out of big, crowded areas. Malls, theaters. Go to the grocery store when it's not busy. Stay off the roads if you can. We all got to do what we got to do. We all got to get up and go to work and pay taxes and all that kind of mess. But you can do it smarter. Go around the parking lot. See if there's anybody sitting in the parking lot following people home. You coming out of the bank? I saw a dude come out of the bank the other day. Gets out of the bank, walks out the door, starts counting his cash, takes out a little envelope. He's standing outside of the door on the sidewalk counting his cash. And this wasn't no great big dude. I could have took him without a sweat. I had to tell my niece today, it's two beautiful boys. Two beautiful boys. She's beautiful. She looks just like my mama, and she's my great niece. Beautiful kids. Two little boys. I had to yell at her in an outside way. I put on Facebook, get your kids off of Facebook. This is a Sears catalog for people looking at your kids, and you're adding pages to it. Don't believe me? I can find out where you are just by where you posted having lunch over the past week, where you trained at the gym, where you're showing pictures standing in front of where you work. All they got to do is look up something like that, find it, Google Earth it, come sit in your parking lot, wait for you to get home from work, follow you home. Now they know where you live. They know where your kids are because you've been putting them on Facebook. They might not come into your house to do it. They might wait for you to put them go to school. Now you're at the red light. They're in the back seat. Boom, crowbar in your windows. 8 seconds, those kids are out, gone, totally different direction. And you're scrambling to find your cell phone to call for help. All because you couldn't help yourself putting those babies on social media and showing them off. They're counting on you to protect them. Get smart. It's go time, people. It's go time. That being said, what can you do? Go tell 10 people what I just told you. 10 people. If you can do more, do more. Go join some of these chats with these preppers who are doing good. And as I said, there's 100 more like them. If you want more in your area, I'll try to get you some. Because I think I've got 1 or 2 in each state. 1 or 2 in each state. So I keep an eye on what was going on in my country. Took me, in some cases, 7-8 years to find the ones that I'm still with, because I've watched them over that time. I've watched them handle crises. I've watched them help people. I've watched them give good information. I've watched them correct themselves when they gave the wrong information or the wrong amount of something, and they fixed it, and they were fine with that. That shows me good character. These are not grifters. These are not patriots. These are people who were ordinary, had a talent, whether it was leadership or organization or anything else. These are go-getters. These are doers. And I want you to be doers. Start with you and then branch out. Pass the light along. Keep the lights on. And don't feel bad about people you have to shake off. This is the last thing. I look at this almost like swimming in an ocean. You don't quite know what's underneath. You know there's the dark stuff under the water because you can't quite see. But you got to keep kicking. Because if you don't keep kicking and you don't keep swimming, you're gonna drown. So you keep swimming. And I've often said, sometimes, when you finally get it and you get it all, you go, man, I'm struggling like crazy. I could just sit back and relax and float for a while and look up and look at the sky and the light and stay in there, and you're good. And you bump into somebody else, and you're talking to them and you're telling them how to do it, and you're saying, man, just chill, quit fighting, and do the stuff. And they're pulling you. They're just so panicked. They're pulling on you and they're pulling you down. You're like, man, you got to chill. Every time you get near them, they try to drag you down below that line. You got to distance yourself from them, let them go through what they're going through, and work themselves up and just keep giving them encouraging stuff. It's like, man, you got to, if you've got faith and you've got this knowledge and everything else, you kind of got to show it, because what you're doing is you're repelling people. Stand in your faith. Stand on your foundation. Stand in what you know, and don't let anybody move you. Be an oak, part willow. But only bend where you want to bend. Don't make people bend you. Go tell 10 people. Now let's watch a ghost story. We got a few minutes. Let's watch a little bit of sightings. Is that cool? I didn't mean to take that whole time, but I think this is very important. And if one person listened, and one person doesn't go to the fair because they think everything is like it used to be and everything else, it's not for a while. We'll get through it. But the next couple of weeks, maybe even till January, is going to be a little, in all honesty, I would say March. But I think the next couple of weeks are going to be, by the end of that, you'll probably know a little bit more. But please be careful in your area. We do have more weather coming, so please go join Ryan Hall, y'all. He only does a live when the weather really calls for it, because his thing is, if I came on here every time there was a wind blowing through or a thunderstorm or something like that, nobody would pay attention, because it would be me crying wolf all the time, and the National Weather Service has got that. But when it's a big thing, when it's tornadoes or a large storm that has a potential for, damaging weather like we just had, he'll be live. So if Ryan Hall is going live, I would suggest you watch it. And he does cover Canada, Lindsay. We were covering stuff up in during this. They were covering that as well. So very helpful. All right. So there's that. Hey, Sarah, how you doing, Sugar? How you doing? So I hope that helps somebody. I hope that's some information. I couldn't do every state, but they're out there. All you would have to do is, follow some of these people, follow that number. Look into the ham radio repeaters and things like that. That information is out there. And watching stuff like Vince, and there's a couple other good storm chasers. I can't recommend all of them, but that one for sure. They're doing some good out there. And Patera and Pinball and several others. So let's watch a little bit of this, and then maybe we'll finish it up with Steve tomorrow. I know I'm going to be very busy trying to help out and getting information out to people and doing some other stuff. And because this is so important, folks. It's just so damn important.
Hello, I'm Tim White. Do you believe in ghosts? Don't answer.
Yes, I do, baby.
Until you watch this special ghost report from Sightings.
Now, I know we've seen some of these before, but these are so good, and I love the way they put it together. I really want to watch this whole thing with you guys, maybe like tonight, tomorrow. I don't know for sure, but eventually. It was 1992, and it's the ghost report that they put together, and it's just so darn good. Henry, good to see you, honey. Hang out. Great on your channel. Love what you're doing there, and I'm so glad to hear that you're okay, honey. I need everybody, especially you, Henry. You said you had that factory opening up, and they're bringing a bunch of people in there to do that. There's a little more to that, so I need you to pay attention to what's going on around. I know you got, your place out there. Just keep your eye open, especially on your animals. I know you got stuff on your place there. watch all that. Okay. And see if you guys can get, if there's anything like a neighborhood app or, a couple of neighbors you can get together, maybe one's a mile down the road that can tell you if they see something and back and forth. We need to be doing that right now. Okay. Love you, baby. Hang in there. We'll watch this first one and then I'll let y'all go and see y'all tomorrow. I didn't mean to talk so long, but again, I think this is important. Mark my words. It's just the greatest show, I'm telling you. The Ghost Report.
What is a ghost? Well, if we're to believe Hollywood, it's a see-through human clad in white, perhaps clanking some chains. But as you'll discover in this report, the truth about ghostly phenomena is far more complex and far more terrifying than anything ever imagined.
And obviously it frightened me. So I just stood there and looked at it and it disappeared into the wall.
I saw a silhouette of somebody walk in my room.
The feeling of fingers moving up and down your arm.
She was floating horizontally up and down in front of the window.
And I ran in the room to find her bed elevated off the floor about maybe a foot and a half.
You could.
All right. Did we go down? Hang on. Son of a bitch. It's possible we went down. Are we still there? Are we still here? Did it block? Ted, did it block? Are we back? I can't tell. All right. Let's do this one then. Bite me, YouTube. You said it was fine. Okay, hold on. These people. I know why you're doing it. I got you. I understand. Let's do this one. Okay, let's try this one. Hang in there with me, guys. I'll get you a ghost story. Goblins. We got the goblins hopping into haunts. Gosh, that was a good one. Let me see if this one rolls through. Which one is this? Me too. Me too, Ted. Hey, wait a minute. I am the pilot. Okay. So far, so good? Well, that's pretty. I don't even know which one this is. You shit. Love you, Ted. And your whiskey balls. Did we do it again? Why is this being blocked? This is my stuff. They're mad at me tonight. I may lose the channel, bubbies. You know what? We saved one. And it went in good for a good reason. That is so true. It's going to dictate the kind of contact you receive or encounter. Exactly, Ted. I got lots of ghost stories. I just don't know which one this is. I'm going to get the card. I got to get at least one in here. Now there goes my chat. Okay, we're back. Oh, it's so much fun.
gotta be something retro.
But first, Sightings travels to Stirling Castle, Scotland's reputed House of Horror. This Scottish castle is rumored to be the most haunted place on Earth. It's a fitting beginning, since the origins of Halloween can be traced back to Scotland in the 3rd century.
Scotland, Ireland, and Great Britain were home to the Druids, an ancient people who began the celebration of the holiday we now call Halloween. The Druids believed that Halloween, actually New Year's Eve by their calendar, was the one night of the year when spirits, both good and evil, were allowed to roam the earth.
You're out wandering around on the night on Halloween when the dead are coming back from the grave. You don't want them to recognize you because they might do something to you or they might take you back with them.
Good spirits were welcomed into Druid homes with treats. The evil spirits were bonfires and frightening masks. Later, jack-o'-lanterns were used to keep away evil spirits, but these talismans aren't always successful. At Stirling Castle in Scotland, more than 1,000 people a year report seeing and feeling evil spirits, and not just on Halloween. In fact, since Stirling Castle was first built to defend the Scottish countryside in the 15th century, countless eyewitnesses have reported seeing ghosts, evil spirits, poltergeists, and demons.
I saw a shadow. No face, just a dark shadow in the corner. When I looked back again, there was absolutely nothing.
I've been walking around there at night and I felt a presence. I felt someone behind me.
Wasn't exactly on the ground. She was kind of floating, but she had her face away from me. It definitely was a woman.
Very scary. Makes you cold. I know what I saw.
The best-known ghost in Stirling Castle is the Green Lady. And she is said to be the spirit of a servant maid who saved Mary Queen of Scots from death in 1661 when the bed curtains caught fire from a naked flame, a candle held beside the bed. Her spirit is said still to haunt Stirling Castle today.
What we saw just at the corner of the graveyard, up at the foot of the castle wall, was a lady dressed in green. It seemed to be glowing. There were 7 or 8 of us ran up to see what was going on. I mean, covering 25 yards. There was nobody in either direction.
I can't think of any other castle who actually has a photograph of one of the ghosts. And we have a photograph of a Highlander here, marching out of the castle. And you can see straight through him as he comes underneath the archway.
We sent the photograph away and it was tested and it wasn't a double negative. It hadn't been superimposed on top of it or anything. So that's why we believe it was actually a picture of the ghost.
Trying to make contact with ghosts at a site such as Stirling Castle can be approached in several different ways by both scientists and spiritualists. We've brought 2 separate investigative teams to Stirling, each operating independently but both with the same end in mind, tangible evidence of at least some of the 100 ghosts rumored to live here. Internationally respected psychical researcher Tony Cornell came to Stirling from Cambridge, searching for scientific evidence.
One thing about the whole psychic field is it's full of contradictions. You can go to one case and say, oh, this is absolute rubbish. This is imagination. This is nonsense. You go to another one and you get a pearl of information. You say, well, we can't ignore this. So I should think, really, I'd say there are such things as ghosts. I've never seen one. I'd very much like to see one. Perhaps I might see one tonight. You never know.
Tony Cornell asked London's premier spiritualist medium, Glyn Edwards, to help him choose a good location for an overnight surveillance.
There's something here. There's definitely something here.
Here? What about over here?
Not so much here. Not so much here.
When we go out on an investigation, the kind of equipment we're taking is purely simply to confirm the physical presence of it. Is it in the mind of the person or is it a real physical object? So what we do is we take equipment that will record any changes in the physical environment. Sound, sight, heat, geomagnetic changes, any form of electrical change, because we don't know what makes these things occur. So we want to know if we leave this stuff behind, do ghosts then appear, or do they only appear because there's a human being there? Well, this is the kind of thing we want to confirm with the instrumentation.
Cornell set up an infrared camera and a standard video camera to be left on all night. The next day, the video revealed nothing extraordinary, but the audio portion was startling. No one was in the castle. The lone night watchman was far from the recording site. The nearest road was more than a mile away. Listen again for what sounds like moaning and screaming among the electronic static.
That's
Could
awful.
these be the ghostly voices of Stirling Castle's tortured dead?
I mean, that's just...
2 days after the haunting sounds were recorded, Sightings brought in a second team, comprised of psychics and headed by paranormal researcher Malcolm Robinson. They hoped to find additional evidence of ghost activity. Their investigation took place near the recording site in the castle's old prison, called the Toll Booth.
I mean, you'd think that the
We go along
stone
and
remembers,
investigate
you
these
know?
cases, speak with the people involved to ascertain if indeed there is something of a psychic nature happening.
This group of psychic investigators uses a controversial and often dangerous technique called spirit rescue. In a rescue, the psychics attempt to become temporarily possessed by any spirits that may be present. They believe the tortured spirits inside them can then be released into another dimension. On this night, world-renowned psychic Rosemary Todlin claimed one ancient tortured spirit had entered her body.
They were attacking me. They were
Why?
bringing me back. They were attacking me. They were bringing me back.
Rosemary appeared to be speaking as a centuries-old prisoner who had been tortured in Stirling Castle. While she was in her trance, other psychics attempted to liberate the supposed spirit from her and rid it from the castle.
You might never get another chance. This is your chance. This is your
Oh.
chance. This is your chance to be free once and for all. Spit it out if you have to. This is where you take that step through the door. A bigger door beyond even that. A much greater door, filled with light.
That I actually felt escape. I felt it physically and I felt it emotionally. And the pressure began to just evaporate from me.
What the hell is this guy doing?
Do you feel that the spirit has been released then from this room?
He's no longer here as far as I'm concerned.
So you're
I
quite
act-
sure of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta stop it for a second. This is like crazy. All right, if you're a trance medium, if you're a medium, physical medium, I get it. You know, Ethel Myers, Sybil Leek, you know, name 'em, so many. Where your spirit guides, filters through, pulls through the spirit comes into you and channels through you. Not, you know, nothing new. When he first said it, like everybody was just getting together and they were all just like, come on, get in, jump into me, and we'll just, you know, we'll go from there. I highly caution against that. That to me, that is very, Ted, I know you agree. To me, that's just opening yourself up to a bunch of things. So I just wanted to clarify, if you're a trance medium, knowing what you're doing, you're a channeler, that's one thing. I don't recommend getting in a big group. Hey, let's go down to the, you know, the local castle in the torture chamber and, you know, invite some, you know, ghosts that happen to be hanging out there, some earthbounders, and they can jump into us and then no, because you don't know what you're getting. And if you're not trained to do that, it's similar to Ouija board where you're welcoming them to come in and move, use your hands to move stuff. They don't even need that. You know, depending on what you're dealing with, this is my opinion and what I've seen over 50 years, it can move that thing all by itself if it wanted to. But then you have to wonder, wow, this is a powerful spirit, entity, earthbound, ghost that has a lot of power to channel all that energy to move that thing by itself. That would make me wonder, where's it getting it from? How long has it been here? Why does it know it can do this? Because I would, now this is a guess. I want to underline the word guess. To me, a ghost that's just kind of like rambling around, and I'm hanging out in the closet, maybe I'm in the basement, maybe I'm in the attic, every once in a while I come over and I kick over a chair, I open a cabinet door, or I bang on a wall, is not the kind that's going to be all now I'm going to start moving that planchette around and starting to spell stuff, or I'm going to be doing these other things and be very focused and direct and methodical. Do you see what I mean? That would tell me that it's gaining a lot of energy from something, for one thing, and that's usually fear off of other people. Okay. Or do you see what I mean? It's not coming from any place that's good, in my opinion. I don't think that would be a good thing. Is that tracking what I'm saying here? So for them to get through and just do that, no, please don't do that. Please take my advice on that as well. I've seen too many people hurt, and too many people just because kids see this and think, what you're supposed to do is it's Friday. We got nothing else better to do. Let's go down to the cemetery and everybody get out and we'll, circle around a couple tombstones. We'll invite spirits in. Yeah, see what happens. What could go wrong? There's enough wild and wonderful, wicked stuff coming. We don't need to be inviting it along. Let's finish this out. I'll shut up.
He wanted out, and he got an out. He got that door that he wanted.
Yeah.
There's no way he'd come back here.
We know there were torture chambers in the toll booth. And indeed, if they followed the practice of the country at that particular time, and indeed over many, many years, then there's no doubt there were thumb screws and practices within that toll booth to force confessions from the unfortunate inhabitants.
I think what we've had here is a little bit dubious. I mean, I get the feeling of, no, it's too melodramatic. Sincere,
Love
yes,
that.
But I don't think it was correct. But that's not saying that there aren't things in Stirling Castle. Of course there are, because many sane and sensible people have walked around and seen these things.
There may be conflicting views on the merits of spirit rescue, but Malcolm Robinson and his team of psychics believe that there is now one less ghost in Stirling Castle, that they have relieved
Look how
the
pretty
suffering
that
of
is.
one tortured spirit.
Ed, do you know where that
in
is? Where is
Scotland's
this?
House of
Where's my
Horrors.
UK people? Do we know where this is? All right, I'm gonna stop it there. Do we know where that is? You guys close to that? I wasn't real sure where he said Scotland, right? Is that where it was? Anyway, that's crazy. I would imagine I would have to put that in my category of being cautious. You know how I feel about like asylums and hospitals and jails and things like that, because to me it's stored so much negative energy. And even if there isn't any ghosts, there's got to be poltergeists, because there's so much bottled up energy over the decades of fear and worry and anxiety and just all of the above that line, or excuse me, below that line rather, lower vibrational emotion. So again, to me, going into a place like that where there was torture, and I reiterate saying, whoever's around, just jump in and we'll, go from there. If there's another way, there's other ways to do that. So I personally believe that you would have to sit around, everybody put their light and their intent together in a perfect scenario, and the right people, and throw it out there. First, you're going to have to bathe that whole thing in light and love and your intent. Once you smooth it out, like I do with the music in the intro, and I can always tell in the chat when new people pop in and they don't get it, and they're like, I just don't understand. You've got 15 minutes of chickens dancing and dogs in swings and monkeys walking horses, whatever it is they say. And I try to explain it. Try to explain it once to somebody new. And I'm like, it's a vibration thing. They're riding in off a bad day, or, we're about to talk about something really dark. You guys know the deal. Changes the vibe. People come in, get a good seat, say hi to each other, pass out snacks, that kind of thing. Hug each other. How's that elbow? How's your, that new baby? Whatever. It gives them time to get settled, and they see some things. They have some smiles. Their vibration has changed, and they're all hopped up and ready to go talk about, dogmen ripping people apart in the land between the lakes, and they can talk about some dark and dirties, and then we dance on the way out, and we're all good. We come back tomorrow night and do the same thing most of the time. But we also look at the amazing light part of this thing too. We saw today just a few people, ordinary people, doing extraordinary things. Could be you. If all you are is in a chat, encouraging somebody. You got, there was one of the little stories in there was a grandmother, and she was kind of by herself. She was okay where she was. And I can't remember her whole situation. I don't even think she was near any of the devastation, but her loved ones were. And she was in a panic. You could tell the way her words were, even in a chat and a text. I was pulling emotion off of it. And people in the chat gathered around real quick, strangers helping strangers. It's what the internet can be. It can be both good and bad, just like everything, and rallied around her and say, okay, where are you? Where are you trying to get in touch with? And she's like, she says, and there's a couple of people said, call the sheriff. And I'm in there. I'm going, please, please, please. You don't understand. These people are overwhelmed. They're not, there's not a lot of extra hands at desks just picking up the phone and, making phone calls for you. That's not what's happening. These people don't have cell phone service. You need somebody close to go and do a wellness check. Can they get to them? Whatever. And you're not going to get any help that way. You're just going to get more and more frustrated and not get any answers and more worried. And we don't want people to go through that trauma if we can help it at all. So, hey, how you doing? Does it say Frankenstein? That's awesome. Welcome in, babe. So we don't want people panicking. So everybody just kind of got in there with information. I was real careful how I worded it. And I said, you could try the sheriff department, but that's not your only route. You need to think outside the box. There's a lot of ham radio people. We've got a chain of information. We can call them. They can get to somebody, one of the storm chasers or one of the rescuers that are up there that are, manning the radios. Again, people, if this is something you're interested in, I've always wanted to be a ham up. I used to love running CB back in the 70s, and we had a base unit at home, and everybody had one in the car. It was, it was that time. So right next to the 8-track player, right? But so it was just so cool. And trucking and all that time. I mean, I've got great memories, of stuff with that. Also got some scary stuff too. I mean, Candy Cane, if you never saw it, what's the name of that? Joyride. That's a good, suspenseful, kind of horror flick. I would say horror flick, wouldn't you? But it's good. It's a little older. But, everybody's like circling around this lady and, trying to give her information. And they were very cool in how they handled the misinformation come out there. Like, Grandma, whatever her name was in the chat. You should call, local sheriff. Okay. I explained that. It's not going to work. Here's an alternative. As soon as she got that number, click into this in this area, just like the numbers I put up there, they can get in. And she found out. And there was people in the chat that were in that town and could tell her, I know that block. That block is fine. If they're not contacting you, it's more than likely because they don't have cell phone service. Give it a little time and contact those other numbers and see if you can get some more information. But you could tell by her wording, even in a chat, in a text, you could tell that her calm had come around her, and she was good, and she had hope, and she had some direction, and she had the next thing to do. And she felt a little bit more secure and a little bit less alone in about 15 minutes in a chat on a weather channel, strangers helping strangers. So please don't sit back and think you can do nothing. Times are tough. Times are hard on everybody. I suggest you hit your local dollar store and go in there and really think outside the box. Gosh, could I use that? What's the shelf life of that? How long does things last? Here's some more information. Cans at the dollar store are not of the same in every, your mileage may vary, quality, and don't hold as long in some cases as the ones you get in other places. There is a difference in some cases. So please consider that when buying your beanie weenies or your, canned Vienna sausage, whatever it may be, and don't store it on its side. Your cans that have the seal, the pull top, is going to have less of a containment time than the solid cans. So I want you to get a box, and I want you to put some cans in a box, and I want you to count it out. And if all you had was, like, say there's 2 people in the house, and you have big old can of pineapple. Okay, what are you getting out of that pineapple? Get organic if you can. I know that's a pipe dream. Do the best you can. Maybe you've got a can of pineapple. You got a big family-sized can of Diddy Moore stew. Maybe you've got a bag of rice, and you figure a cup of rice per person per day. How long would that last? Very inexpensive. Okay. And then in that box, have that, and then have some oats, the oats that you buy that take a little longer to cook, like your oats and your grits and things like that. The less processed, the longer it's going to last. The less processed, the longer it's going to last. There is an app. If Uncommon Belief isn't here, please put the name of that app. There is an app out there. Maybe one of you youngins know it off the top of your head too. It's free. And you download it on your phone. And when you go to the grocery store in your house, it does beauty products, stuff you put on your skin. It doesn't do pet food yet, but they're working on it. And all you do is scan the UPC code of any item, bath and beauty products, makeup. It also does any food and fruits that have a UPC. So you scan it, and it'll give you a scale from 1 to 100 on how good it is, how bad it is. So anything under a 50 is probably not so good. They really don't like sugar, so you'll be shocked at how many things have so much sugar in it. The app is called Yuka. Thank you so much, Uncommon. And it's free. And I believe it's for Android and iPhone. And you take that with you and you scan things, you'll be shocked. You'll want to switch. So it might have been, I had a choice between 2 brands. One was a major brand of an oatmeal. This is your instant oatmeal in a pack. And then another one, and the difference was like 50 points away from each other. And it was the same price. And I just found out by scanning this, and they told me why the other one was bad and what was in it. And I went, oh, so this is good. It takes a lot of the thought process out of it for you, if that's something that you're into. But again, think about your bug out bags. Think about your fire extinguisher in your car, one by the door. Don't make it easy for people. Don't flaunt stuff. Don't be the guy counting cash out in front of the bank. That is stupid. Again, people, it's different. We have new neighbors. However you feel about that, that's your own. It's none of my business. I'm telling you, it's a culture clash. There's other things. There's more weather. Okay. There's more stuff. And like Patera said, they're trying to tell you there's so much division because they want to cause panic. They want to cause stuff. Listen, the well-prepared person, okay, however much you want to bring that in, your household's in order. You know what you know. You know what you have. You know where you're going. You know what you're responsible for, your pets. I saw too many dogs left in pens, hunting dogs, outside, whatever. You don't leave them behind. They go with. It's not an option. Or you have to stay and care for them, or let them go free so they can help themselves. You know what I mean? Horses, things like that. They know they can get away from. They have more sense than you, trust me. Most of these animals. But there you go. I want you to listen to what I'm saying. It's probably the most important information I've ever given out on this podcast, other than the power is within you. You have the light. Light beats dark. Being smart and being prepared. It's worth its weight in gold. And that wouldn't hurt either. And silver, copper. Think back on the things we've talked about on this show. Look back over history. You know your history. Even if you just watch this show, you know enough history to help you. How did things go down? How did people react? What were the good things? What were the bad? What were the things to look out for? What got people through? People helping people. You see it here. And Patera said it. Don't let them tell you you're divided. You're not. We are united. We are human beings. And we're going to be the best human beings we can. And we're going to take the Roadhouse motto. This is my suggestion. Try it out. Nice to nice no longer works. Get the app. Watch some of these people who are positive and full of light. Probably wouldn't sit down and never tell a ghost story with me, but hey, that's our extra. That gives us an extra. That gives us an edge because we know there's more. We know it means more. We know it goes deeper. We know we're accountable. And we know we can do it. And we know that we were born for this. And we're going to keep the lights on. And when we need each other, we're going to meet each other. And we're going to be here. And we're going to fulfill each other's lights and reignite those ambers. This is it, folks. This is what so many people got downloads over, why your consciousness is raised, why you know you're a light worker for these times. And this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to help. We're supposed to give out information. We're supposed to calm the roaring tides of bullshit and say, we know the way. We're not gatekeepers because we're deciding who goes through and who doesn't. We're gatekeepers because we're keeping the gate open and saying, this is your journey. There's people along the way in this chat that may have gone through things you've gone through, may be going through what you're going through, and they know the way out. Walk with them a little bit. Talk to them. Those are your gatekeepers. Those are the people, your mile markers, your soul connections in different parts of your journey. You can look back and know who those people were in your journey. That person who might have said something in the break room that stuck with you. Maybe it was a line in a poem or a line spoken in a movie that you've never been able to forget that means something to you. That talk you had with grandpa or your mom over making cookies. I hope you had those kind of experiences. It's those moments, and it's your journey, and we all met here tonight for a reason. And I want you to be mindful. If you can, go shopping with a buddy, watch red lights. Here's another tip. Do not pull up on the car in front of you so tight that you couldn't back up and get out if you had to. That's not a scary rule. That's a I got my stuff together rule. Don't box yourself in a corner. Think like a cat. A cat doesn't want to go into something it can't get 2 exits out of. Think about stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with it. And it helps. It's good training. And you can watch some of these other shows, like even old shows I used to love to watch, MacGyver, because, man, I would have never thought of that, or movies like The Bear, if you've never seen that. And I hate Alec Baldwin. I'm sorry. I don't like his attitude or his personality or him as an actor, to tell you the truth. He's got some other brothers that are good, but, just a personal preference. But that movie was good. And, Anthony Hopkins was in it, and so many things in that with little things like how to make a compass, and get out of the woods and get out of a situation. Watch a couple things like that because it inspires you. Maybe you'd rather watch Grizzly Adams or one of these things on YouTube where the guy goes out in the woods with a knife and a buck knife and something else and puts up a cabin. Because they're inspiring. They show you what a common person can do with an idea and the will to try. A lot of people I brought forward tonight gave you that information too. They found a way. They're trying. And they're taking your love and your light and giving it to other strangers. That's how we're going to get out of this. That's how we're going to make it through. And I'm going to see you on the other side of it, one way or another. I love you all. Sorry about the tech issues and stuff tonight. Here's the deal. I think the important information got out. I really need you to listen to this. Heads up. Stay close to your loved ones. Have a plan. Be prepared, not scared. I love you all. Stay in the light, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Okay? I love you. All right, let's get out of here. We're going to dance. Get your shoes off. Come on now. You know you want to. Dance in your kitchen barefoot. Don't dance if you're driving, though. Well, you can sway. Love you. Be well. Be good human. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Be well. Help is coming. Hang in there.